Now,
So
now, what tribe are you with?
I'm not a tribe, bro. I'm just indigenous Black American.
Okay. Now, here's the problem. You got a lot of Caribbeans who try to do the indigenous to the Americas thing so they can kind of backdoor into the lineage. Anybody Caribbean in your family, bro?
Oh, hell nah, bro. No Caribbeans, no tethers.
Okay, okay. Let
Nah,
me,
but I was saying though, bro, because they try to say like the first Africans in America were slaves, but the first Africans in America were really conquistadors. Am I right?
that's correct. That's 100% correct.
Exactly,
They
brother.
brought over Estevanico. They brought over even Columbus. They brought over Pedro Alonso Nino and the Nino brothers. Yeah, they were black Moors. And there was evidence that Moors were traveling back and forth here for centuries, according to some of the documents in Spain. So there's a lot of information. But to say that there was no slave trade, now that's incorrect. The slave trade did exist. Two things can be true. The slave trade existed and there were black Aboriginal people here. And my argument, and based on my studies, is that they were mixed together and all reclassified as Negro. And that's where the ethnogenesis came from.
Okay, yeah, most definitely. I understand that, bro. It's just, they done lied about our history so much that it's like, you really got to question everything like that they done taught us. And then it's like really not that much evidence. Like they don't really got any ships or, you know,
Insurance companies, no, that shit was well documented. You had the insurance companies come up off that, and the ship. As far as the ships, remember those ships were wooden. These were wooden ships, and wood is biodegradable. So the wood is in that salt water. There's sea worms and shit. So yeah, there's a lot of slave ships that's in the bottom of the ocean. Many of the pirate ships used to be slave ships. So there's a few wreckages that's been found, but that's what it is. Oh, man. But anyway, thank you so much, brother. Let me get some more people. Let's get a King.
What's up, Rick?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm a long time listener. I'm always in the spot, but I don't speak much.
Okay.
I just wanted to come in tonight, man, because I think you touched on it actually right but when the gentleman got off. I was noticing a lot of people get confused with the ethnogenesis.
Yeah.
And like FBA is indigenous.
Right.
And so people I think people are excited about finding the information and Granny being proven right. And they're running with these tribes that they don't understand have been stolen. Like you say all the time, remixed and ran through. And that's why like the Cherokee Nation and people like that are, trying to get in good and, oh, we made a mistake and stuff like that. So that's really what I want to say. I'm not going to be on here too long. I land my plane.
Thank you, brother. Now, Southern Boy. Now, what did you say, Southern Boy, about what's in Hidden Colors?
Why was you not saying that we was indigenous in your hidden colors? You always classified us as through the diaspora, that we was some part of connection to Africa. What made you change it up since you've been on TikTok?
Have you seen Hidden Colors? All of them?
Sir.
Name the first. What's the title of the first Hidden Colors? What's the title? Look it up if you don't know
Bro,
it.
I ain't finna go there with you. I know what you've been saying. I'm not finna
What's the
do the
title?
tongue wrestling shit with you. I
This
know
ain't
what you've been
tongue.
saying, sir.
Okay. Well, you ain't gonna lie. You just lied. So that ain't tongue wrestling. It's called lying. You
Yeah,
said your ass up
I
and
ain't
lied.
never heard you on that one of your hidden colors say that you we was in.
You are a goddamn lie. That's why I just told you, read the title of the film. The very first Hidden Colors we talked about, indigenous black people on this land. The hell you gonna tell that lie for? Even the title of the movie, Hidden Color. Oh, he got his musty ass off here. You mushmouth bastard. Don't lie. You gonna come, I ain't about to do on that tongue wrestling. Yeah, you tie tongue. Your tongue can't wrestle. Hell, the very first Hidden Colors is the untold history of African Aboriginal Moor descent. Aboriginal is in the title of the damn film. The hell you talking about? What kind of lie is that? That's an easily verifiable thing to look up. Pull it up. That's why I said Google. He want to Google. Hidden Colors 1. The untold story, the untold history of people of Aboriginal. That's the first thing I said in the fucking movie. You idiot. The reason why people are having conversations about Aboriginal black people is because of Hidden Colors. Nobody was talking about that before Hidden Colors. Fool. I brought the conversation. Nobody was talking about that on a large scale. Nobody. Stop playing. We were the first ones pointing out that there were black Aboriginal people here, dude. Who are you talking to? Y'all can't, let me tell y'all can't lie on me. I've been around too long. We were the first ones talking about it. We broke that down talking about how black people were already in a damn America. We've been talking about that. The very first movie talking about that. That blew everybody's mind. That's why the movie was so popular. That information was not out there like that. That was the first time most people even heard that. Come on. We were the ones talking about the Olmecs and all that stuff in the Maroon. We were talking about that in Hidden Colors 1 over a decade ago. Let me tell y'all something, mushmouth folks. All you listen. Let's be real. I hate to. I don't like popping my collar too heavy. I don't like to sound like I'm bragging. I don't. Y'all know I'm a humble cat, but I gotta remind people. Let me let y'all know something. I gotta remind people of some things. Y'all can't be lying on me. You can't lie on me. I've been around too long. When folks come in and try to lie, you can't lie on me. Look, family, I've been around for decades. I've been in the game for a minute, man. I've been in the public eye, man, hard body since 2000, even a little bit before that. I've been in magazines and stuff, but really hard body in the public eye with best-selling products in 2000. All right? That's 25 years ago. With best-selling books. I done raised folks in here. All right? I done raised people in here. People's families have grown up with me. Some of y'all, man, y'all family has grown up. When y'all grandma was reading my books, your granddad, your uncle, your dad, your mama, your big brother. I run into people all the time telling me, hey, TARIQ, I've been rocking with you since I was 10. I mean, grown-ass people who've been rocking with me for a long time. Yeah, your mom, you said your mom has my book. Yeah, I've been in people's families for a long time. Radio shows, doing radio interviews all over the place, television appearances, doing lectures all over the country for years. I've been around. I've been very consistent. I've been very transparent. I got a long history of engaging with the public. So you can't lie on me. That shit don't work. The facts are there. That with this dude here, that was a weird lie. Yeah, that got debunked in 2 seconds. These new anonymous Negroes, y'all can't come and lie. The receipts are there. My work has been passed down generationally. And that's another thing. When people try to use my books as look at this nigga books with all these bitches. Look at them. That ain't a gotcha. My books were not no secret books that was hidden. I had New York Times best-selling books that were all over the place. Dude, I was on talk shows promoting them. You're not exposing anything. Ain't that funny when people like, do y'all know he got some Mackin books? Yeah, I got it. I got the book. Dude, I was on the Tonight Show promoting my books. That's not nothing new. Do y'all know that? Some of these new folks who just got here don't know this. Do y'all know I used to be on the Tonight Show and Conan O'Brien and MTV promoting my books? That's not a gotcha. That's not a gotcha. I was on international television promoting these these were huge selling books. They were not little underground books. These were huge bestsellers. People have them. And you can't lie about the books because people know what's in them. These books kicked off the whole pickup artist game. When my books came out, they created a whole little industry around my books, the whole pickup artist game. They started making a whole bunch of copycat versions of my books. I've been around for a long time. You new tethers who are new, y'all can't lie. I've been around too long. People see me, y'all remember I'd be on MTV, Made, and all that stuff, and all them VH1 shows, Charm School, Dude, I've been around. I've been in people's households. Dude, I hate bragging about myself. I really do. But some of these new mushmouth folks, you're going to have to know you new. Everybody here ain't new. You're the new one here. You're late to the game. You're late to the party. Just because you late to the party, you ain't going to come in here and start lying. Dude, I revolutionized a whole bunch of stuff, dude. I done kicked off a whole bunch of movements, even relationship podcasts. I was one of the first people doing that. Did y'all know that? I just don't brag about this stuff. That's why y'all hear people come up and they'll talk about Mac Lessons Radio. Family, do y'all know I had one of the first relationship podcasts ever in the world? I had something called Mac Lessons Radio. I started in 2006. How many relationship podcasts? There were no podcasts really at all at that time. 2006, you didn't even have podcasts like that, let alone relationship podcasts. I started one of the first relationship podcasts. Well, the first urban one, which what people do now, did that 20 years ago. Yeah, streaming and the video streaming, we were doing that 15 years ago on Ustream because no other platforms could do that. You didn't have video streaming like that. Come on now. Come on now. I don't want to pop my collar, but I'm going to pop it a little bit to remind people I've been in the game for a minute. I done revolutionized a lot of stuff. Dude, Mac Lessons Radio, y'all know those are classics. The Mac Lessons Radio show is classic. The game would be heavy on that. That revolutionized dating and relationship podcasts. That is literally the prototype for all of these modern relationship podcast formats. That unfiltered style, game heavy, going in, clowning some dudes for being simps, all that. I did that 20 years ago, way ahead of the curve. Everybody and their mama's doing it now. Everybody and their mama's doing the shit now. Back then, there wasn't even a platform to do it. We had it on MySpace. We had to use different formats because it got so popular. It kept crashing websites. So I had to keep trying different, because you couldn't do it on YouTube. YouTube came out a year before. And on YouTube, you can only put 15 minutes of content on YouTube. A lot of folks don't know that. When YouTube first came out, you could only put 15-minute videos on YouTube. You can only upload 15 minutes. A lot of folks do not know that. And that was the format for a few years with YouTube. Now it's unlimited. When YouTube first came out, you were only allowed to upload 15 minutes of material on YouTube. There were no podcasts on YouTube. They didn't have the format for it. You understand? People who were rock with me on MySpace, we used to put the stuff on MySpace and these other different sites, and people would follow me around to get the Mac Lessons Radio. It was a phenomenal podcast. Yeah, we would crash servers. We were trying to figure out, we finally got it on the main site that it's on now because it kept crashing different servers. You understand? We kept having to change the locations and the websites because we always crashed the servers. There was just no format for podcasts like that at the time. A lot of folks don't know this shit, man. And only social media that was really popping was MySpace. Facebook was kind of a thing, but it was really MySpace was the only thing, and MySpace and Black Planet for those who are real old school. So come on, dude. The relationship book game, revolutionize that. The podcast relationship game, revolutionize that. Then pull out the Hidden Colors movies. That changed the game. That changed how we teach history now. Hidden Colors changed the game on another level. That changed everything. That brought in the damn woke movement. Hidden Colors is taught in schools around the world now. That completely changed the game. Yeah. So yeah, you can't, I don't know, I've been in the game for a minute, being too thorough with material, bringing the heat, standing on business, looking out for the grassroots, even though the mainstream people, they've thrown money at me. Listen, let me tell y'all something. When I did Hidden Colors, When I did Hidden Colors, y'all remember some of them who rocked with me for a long time. Because remember, right before I did Hidden Colors, 2010, I started filming Hidden Colors in 2010. At the time, my relationship books and tours and Mac Lessons Radio was highly successful. I was on tour doing lectures all around the country, sold out. Some of y'all been to my lectures back in 2008 and 2009. I do sold out lectures in New York, Miami. I'd always do sold out lectures in Atlanta, just chopping up game, doing relationship stuff. I had 3 networks trying to give me a television show. They throwing money at me. MTV was trying to give me a show. The We Network was trying to give me a relationship show. These people were throwing money at me. Yes, I was in Dallas. Yep. Had a great time. Sold out lecture out there in Dallas. 2010, I had like several pilots. These people wanted me to do a mainstream television show. I felt that we needed to do something that uplifted the Black community because at the time, there were a lot of movies out that were just horrible representations of Blackness. And at the time, I wasn't feeling what was coming out of Hollywood at the time. Y'all got to remember around 2008, 2009, 2010, all the movies that were out coming out of Hollywood was The Blind Side, these movies with white saviors, The Butler, remember that movie with Forrest Whitaker? The Help, Black people trotting around as maids and butlers, and then Precious. That shit was horrible, man. That was a horrible ass time. Some of y'all don't remember that. No, I like Django. Django was cool, but that whole Precious area, that Precious era at the time, those movies coming out, those were horrible representations of Blackness, man. And I said, hey, man, we gonna have to do something about this. This is propaganda. These movies are designed to really destroy our self-esteem. When I saw Precious, I'm like, why in the hell would they even make some shit like this? That was really the last straw with me, that Precious movie. I'm like, why would they make something like this? And the Hollywood was propping it up and praising it. I'm like, this is a demonic ass movie. Yeah, Driving Miss Daisy, all these movies, man. But Precious was the last straw for me. That was the last straw for me. So I said, hey, man, everybody kept saying, we need this, we need that. And I said, you know what? When I got off my tour, I just got off tour and I was on Ustream. Then I found something happened. There was 2010, there was something called Kickstarter. There was a crowdfunding website. It was one of the first crowdfunding websites. And I said, oh, well, you know what? That's an interesting thing. They said you could fund your ideas. You and your audience, if you come up with an idea, you can crowdfund it and, put an idea together, and if people fund it, you can get the money to do it. And I'm on Ustream and just chopping it up. Y'all remember Ustream was a vibe. That was a whole different thing. Man, we used to clown so heavy on Ustream. That was another vibe. But I was on Ustream, and I just literally that day, because I always do my Ustreams on Sunday, and I got home from a tour. I was on a lecture tour, and I just went on my last one, and I came home, and I was doing the live, and we were talking about Kickstarter, and I said, listen, family, I got an idea. Let me see if y'all rock with it. Because, people are talking about we need to do movies about our images. I said, I got an idea for a documentary. What do y'all think about doing a documentary where we're just telling unapologetic, straight up Black history? We ain't sugarcoating nothing. We ain't watering nothing down. What if we do that, man? Is that something y'all like to rock with? Everybody was like, yeah, that's something we'd like to rock with. I said, okay, check this out. They got this let me see how serious you guys are. I said, look, they got something called Kickstarter. It's a crowdfunding site. And I dug in my pocket, and I had like $20,000 in my pocket. I said, okay. And that's why I came up with 20 grand. Because I said, look, I got 20 grand here. If you guys get 20 grand, y'all raise 20 grand on this site. I put my 20 grand together with y'all 20 grand, and then we'll do this movie. All you got to do is raise 20 grand. I put the other 20 grand up, and let's do it. But here's the thing. I only want brothers to do it. I said, I only want black men to contribute. I don't want none of my white listeners and none of the sisters. I don't want y'all to do it. I think some sisters did anyway. But I said, only black men contribute. I said, I only want black men to contribute. I thought that was very important.